Architecture is a very profound act. I landed into architecture purely by accident.
Naval aviator, engineering, architecture seems to be Providence had a great part to play. But I've not seen somebody grow at this pace.
Every day we've got battles to fight. I did a site visit sitting on top of a buffalo, and I can't just put one building that way.
Let's get to know a little more about the person behind the architect. Hello friends, welcome to Design Dialogues with Viva. Here we are with yet another episode, and the guest today is an esteemed architect, a very dynamic person and a good friend of mine. I take all pleasure to introduce Deepu Prakash, Managing Director, Aedium Designs Private Limited, Bangalore. Hi Deepuji, how are you?
Very well, sir. How are you?
I am doing great. Deepuji, we've never sat on a discussion like this. I guess this is the first time I am getting to talk out of work to you. It's always been work. So,
yeah, it's been.
Just wanted to understand, out of all professions, why architecture?
Purely by accident. I was never meant to be an architect.
Oh.
I always wanted to be a naval aviator.
Naval aviator?
Yeah.
Oh, from the skies to the land now. That's why I can see you're making skyscrapers so that you reach to certain heights there.
Somewhere you'll have to reach somewhere, right?
So how did this happen?
My dad, was a commander in the Navy, and that's how. So I grew up in that background.
Okay.
I wanted to. So that's how my ambition was also to be go on those lines.
Okay.
But yeah, life had other plans, and then I decided to move towards engineering, and I took up architecture.
Okay. Naval aviator, engineering, architecture seems to be Providence had a great part to play here.
Of course.
Okay. What do you enjoy actually, being an architect? What is the thing that you enjoy the most about being an architect?
See, architecture is a very profound act of you can call it placemaking or creating that human experience.
Okay.
So, if you see people enjoying the space that you've designed,
okay,
that's the biggest satisfaction any architect can get.
Oh, right. So, anybody who inspired you that okay, inko dekha and I felt I should take up architecture, or this is the person I look up to.
No, nobody. I mean, during initial, like I said, I landed into architecture purely by accident.
Okay.
But yes, during the course of my journey, there were many people who inspired me. Not just from the field of architecture, but also from different lines of different layers of humanity that I've come across.
Mm-hmm. Anyone who stands on top of that list?
Actually, one of my faculty, my professors,
okay,
who introduced me to the the concepts of architecture. How can you look at it differently?
Okay.
How do you sketch? How do you understand the scale and the proportions, all of that. And later on, during my course of my career, one of my former bosses, he played a very important role in introducing me to the concept of integrating construction, tech, and design.
Okay.
And then we started looking into precast and a lot of things.
Very interesting reply. Who are the some people who have created that everlasting influence on you? Anybody, any specific person? No, whenever you are in a challenging situation, who do you think that how would he react, and let me take that same reaction or some methodology to come out of the situation? Who is that?
Two persons.
Okay.
One is my father.
Okay.
Having been in the defense background, he's been, he has seen a lot of situations.
Okay.
And I know that at any given point of time, that if I am in a situation, I have never seen a person who's so calm in addressing a problem.
Okay.
So you reach out to him, you talk to him, he very calmly says, "Acha, theek hai. Tu bata, what is your problem?" Okay. And then
that pillar of strength.
That pillar of strength comes in. And the second person who is the boss that I told you. His name is Prakash. He's based in Singapore. He's the one who actually taught me, also the way you deal with people, the way you deal with your colleagues, your subordinates, your seniors, your clients, your partners. And one of the most important lessons that I've always learned from these two gentlemen is to give respect and take respect.
Wonderful. Well said. Well said. That's something very profound. Actually, architecture by accident, and then where did this journey start, and how did it now culminate into something called Aedium now, which is creating ripples in the industry?
It's good to hear that it's creating ripples. So, during the course of my journey, just before I started Aedium, I was heading an organization known as Katera, heading their design division. And Katera, was part of a larger organization in the US, and they filed for a Chapter 11 in the US because of various issues. So that's when we were a group of like-minded professionals, myself, Nishant, Girish, Anand, Sandeep, and we all thought, that why not we think about starting something like this, and starting a design practice which would stand apart from the rest of the, firms in the fraternity. What can we do differently? And that's how that's how all of this started out. And today we are at a juncture where we started with a small team of about 20 people. We are 120 in 30 months' time. We have a phenomenal team, and all the credit goes to a team.
You've given me the cue for the next question I wanted to ask you. Actually, I've been in this industry now for 3 decades. I've seen various architect firms in India and internationally, but I've not seen somebody grow at this pace. And it's not, you very easily said 130 people in 30 months, but I know what it takes to have a firm of this size when it comes to architecture. So, was this always the vision, or how did it happen? I just want to know the technical secret behind it, or I can say the management secret behind it.
See, the success of any business is the kind of delivery that you give to your clients. Your trust the trust that the clients have in you. You give them quality delivery. You need partners who are aligned with you, who think on the same lines as you do, who have the same vision, who are able to walk that path along with you. That is very important.
So what has been in this 30 months, any challenges you remember of?
Of course, a lot of them. Every day is a fight. Every day we've got battles to fight. And it's very interesting thing is that we're not bogged down. Every day there's a new challenge, there's a new learning.
Knowing you as a person, I can vouch for that. That you're not someone who's easily going to get bogged down for sure.
No, because when you put in your heart and soul and into it, and then this becomes your passion, then you're not working. It's not work.
Yes.
We are not looking at it as work.
Yes. And it becomes more of a reflection of what you want to be and what you are.
Exactly.
Indirectly, directly becomes worship.
Yes. And for me, I don't look at our team as 130 resources or 130 employees.
Yes.
We look at it as 130 families.
Wonderful. Well said. That's where you're growing. Now this is what I wanted to understand.
Because 130 families means then I know that okay, that's what we are built of.
Wonderful. I think so. This never say die attitude of yours comes from that upbringing through the services background your dad had. Do you agree to that?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I've always seen children who grow up with defense background be very mentally tough, and most of them do very well in whatever they are pursuing as a profession. Okay, just to understand, what is Aedium's design philosophy? So every architect firm has this design philosophy. So I'll work in this way. This is the kind of buildings I want to create. What is your design philosophy in Aedium?
I can't put just one philosophy as a statement there.
No, you can.
It becomes a little.
Free to list the philosophies you have.
So, like I said, very very important thing is about placemaking, about creating that human experience, creating. We have a lot of thought which goes into circularity and sustainability. We also want to give it back to the society, see that our buildings are performing, and not contaminating the city by large, and of course, design landmarks,
So,
timeless landmarks.
as
if
an
possible.
architect, what is important for you? Does form follow solution or solution follows form? Which
The form should always follow the function,
function?
because unless you lock in and create an efficient function and you create a form around it,
Doesn't work.
it can be a brilliant looking building, but
It's not functional.
it's not functional. People will stop using that building after it'll die out.
How important is facade when you design your building?
Very important.
Okay, why do
Very
you say
important.
that?
Very important, because facade is the skin of. It's just like as humans.
Yes. Okay.
It's a very similar concept.
Okay.
It's very important. It has to be. It kind of gives the character to that. To that entity.
Do you feel that facade is also a sellable point to the project? It helps in
It does. It is.
attracting customers.
It is because once when you design a building, a lot of people start. See, look at this. You talk to a layman. What does he look into? He doesn't look into the building and say that, the excellent design is in terms of the planning and all of that.
Correct.
But there are very few people who do that.
Yes.
Most of them look at the
हाँ.
building and say, oh, excellent facade.
बहुत impressive लग रहा है बाहर से.
हाँ, बाहर से बहुत impressive लग रहा है.
Okay.
The view is excellent.
Okay. And what are the cladding products? Now that you've said facade is so important, I can understand you pay a lot of attention to the detail on facade.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would use glass because it has to allow light to come in.
Depending on the project.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what are the cladding products that excite you in terms of the current times?
Of late, see, we've been seeing a lot of glass, and while we've been talking about sustainability and glass, you can't on the same breath. At times, it doesn't go well together. We have been trying. So we have been even looking out for a client who will give us that freedom to experiment and innovate and see how we can marry the both and see if we can get natural materials also as part of the facade elements.
So there are a lot of cladding materials in the market today. You have composite panels, you have clay tiles, you have so many options.
Yes.
What is your opinion about metal composites as an architect? From the time you've started practicing till today, how have you seen? Have you seen there is a progression there, or?
We have seen a lot of progression, and we have also been seeing the use of materials have gone up considerably now. There has also been a lot of innovation on that front.
Okay.
In terms of material, the quality of the materials, the finishes, the properties have also quite enhanced, which can be used. Yeah.
When it comes to composite panels, when I deal with architects, I've been dealing with them for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
So they always have this perception that it is white, grey, silver, and champagne.
No, I think there's more options now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to hear from you.
There are more options now.
Because I find you and your team very update on things like that. So whenever our interactions have happened, I've seen that quest too. So what do you feel about? Do you agree or disagree with it's white, grey, silver, and champagne?
No. There are more options. There are definitely a lot of options. The only thing is that this is something which we encourage our team up to the junior most architect and the designers, that they need to be keeping themselves abreast about what's the new materials in the market, what are the new technologies, what are the changes that have happened, because that by itself should be part of your selling point on design as to this is what this cladding material can do to your building, or this is what it brings.
Okay. Wonderful. So, you've been in this journey for 30 months, and I think so from a very early period when you started, we've been in discussions with you, we've been talking to you, we've been interacting to you for various projects, and the interactions have always been very fruitful and interesting. How do you see Viva's journey in this last 30 months? We walked along a long time now where we've reached to this discussion today. So what do you feel about Viva's journey?
The last 30 months is when we have started collaborating with each other, more. And I think there are great synergies between our organizations, and we will definitely be working with you and carrying forward this relationship.
What do you feel is as an architect or a stakeholder in a project where the responsibility on you is very high to give a wonderful looking building? How do you think Viva can synergize with you? What do you see is exciting about Viva as a brand to you?
One, the product offerings. Second, we would like to explore looking at Viva right from the design stage onwards, right at the beginning, so that we are able to incorporate the elements right at the concept stage, so that we know that this is how it goes, and we know that this is how the costing is going to work out.
Correct.
We understand that how these elements are going to perform in terms of the building and the larger design perspective as well.
So when you've been in discussion with the teams in Viva, have you got that confidence? Yes, ACP is a material which is today safe than it was before.
It has evolved over a period of time.
Yes.
We have seen that happening.
Yes.
Right. So yes, we have been seeing that the use of ACP in different kinds of buildings. Not all, but different kinds of buildings. Definitely, we've been seeing that in commercial. We've been seeing that in healthcare, in industrial, and so on.
Okay. So Viva basically works on this concept of not trying to bring natural materials into the format of a ACP or a honeycomb panel or a solid pre-coated solid sheet, which we do now. How do you look at that as an endeavor from an architect's perspective? Is it something that excites you?
It is, because like I had mentioned earlier, we can see that the material has evolved. I mean, today these sort of offerings were not there in the earlier days, 5-6 years ago. And so that is also helping us experiment and give new look and feel to the clients as well.
Okay, wonderful. Let's get to know a little more about the person behind the architect. What are your favorite architectural styles? Like, is it contemporary or classic? It's not a rapid fire. You can be.
So mostly contemporary is what mostly contemporary, but yes, yet connected with the traditional.
I want you to give a very honest reply for this. What is the biggest myth that people have about architects that you want to debunk?
Biggest myth about architects, that they're very cynical.
Okay.
They're very negative, and they are the guys. You
can be explicitly candid.
Yeah, I feel that they're very cynical, and it's very difficult to convince them.
That's what people feel.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I differ. I think if you have the right product, if you have the right way of explaining things, I think so architects, even the biggest of names, will listen to you if you have the right approach.
Yeah, and they're very rigid.
So what do you do outside work after a long day of work and you want to unwind? What is your way to unwind? Now, don't tell me you work 24/7, by which I doubt you do.
So, one, I love traveling and seeing places. I try and spend, because ever since we started Aedium, we've been on the run. So okay. I try and spend as much time as possible with the family, with my son. I love reading, so I try and catch up.
Any of your favorite books?
Favorite books.
Anything that you read recently as well is okay.
Provided you don't ask me questions on the book.
No, I would not. I would buy the book.
I'm just started reading this Atomic Habits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we were talking about the book that you read.
Yeah.
And do you watch podcast or you play a sport or something like that? Do you find time first?
Do you think that I play a sport looking at the way I am right now?
You never know. No. It has nothing to do with the way you look. You might be a golfer.
No. So I used to play basketball and Also do a fair amount of swimming during my younger days. But yes, these days my physical activity has come down drastically.
Yeah.
So the only probably is just moving my hand.
I think so. You're prioritizing Aedium a lot, and
no. So physical well-being is a very important thing, but unfortunately, yes, I've not been able to put much time. So nowadays, I try and go for a walk.
Good. I hope you continue that. You sustain
you
it.
suddenly start feeling old because of that.
No, by no means you're feeling old. You're not looking old as well. Now you're functioning like an old person. It is the best part of these podcasts is that I get to know these people behind that tag called the architect, or
That's
maybe
good.
tomorrow a developer or a consultant, whatever
That's good.
stakeholder they are. So it's the discussions are so professional.
Yeah.
We never find time to know that person behind, unless, and even on a dinner it's like it doesn't happen so easily. Everybody has busy schedules, but
That's right.
this has been, for me personally, it's been a great platform to understand people like you, and know over this journey. I think so I'll be learning a lot with every person I interact with. So
The feeling is mutual. I think
it's
also
mutual, and I'm feeling so privileged that I could be able to do this and understand the person behind, the man and the vision behind Aedium, and his life apart from Aedium as well.
We should probably be switching sides after this.
So we'll now make it a little lighter.
Okay.
I have a series of 20 questions that is like a rapid fire. I want
Alright.
you to answer in the shortest way possible,
Okay.
and in the quickest time possible. I'm not giving you time here.
Okay.
Right? So let's start.
Absolutely.
All set?
All yes.
Okay. So coffee or chai while designing?
Coffee.
Black or white?
Black. The strongest.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Both.
If you weren't an architect, what would you be?
I'll be a naval aviator.
Yes. We heard that. Now, where's the weirdest place? Be honest, you've thought about a design.
The weirdest place I have thought about design.
Where some nice design idea just clicked you.
Wow. The weirdest place. I did a site visit sitting on top of a buffalo. Probably that's where
We'll expand about that experience later. 3 things that you always carry in your work bag.
3 things that I always carry in my work bag is my iPad, my notepad, and some pens.
One tool you cannot live without. You can't live without one tool. What does that tool be? Tool or a gadget?
Right now, it's a phone.
Do you judge buildings wherever you travel?
Sometimes. But then I also tell myself that a lot of these are also, based on what the client wants you to build. So at times the architect may not have had the freedom to do it his way.
Okay. What is your design superpower?
My team.
Wow, that's a very nice reply. What's your happy place in any project? When do you feel, okay, now I'm fine, I feel happy in the project? When is that?
When you see your design getting realized on site.
Wonderful. One thing that architecture has taught you in life?
Perseverance.
Again, one myth that you want to break about architects quickly. One word.
We are also humans.
Your go-to stress relief after a tough day of work?
My go-to stress relief after a tough day of work, go sit down with my family, have a drink, spend time, good music,
Okay.
set the mood with some dim lighting.
Okay. Favorite building in the world?
Wow, that's I can't just put one building that way. It's very different. Very difficult. I can't put it that way.
So give us 2. I can discount that for you.
I mean, I've been very, very intrigued with buildings like the Falling Waters.
Okay.
So some of the projects are Eiffel, right? So that's something. It's constantly evolving. There are things that we studied in school today when we design school, and today when we go and look at these projects, you have a very different perspective about a lot of these things.
as you grow, your perspective also changes.
Also changed. You know, some things you felt was not right today. When I look at it, feel that acha, okay, this could have been the thought process behind that architect as to why he did this.
Next question: minimalism or maximalism?
I've been hearing a lot on maximalism these days. I still prefer minimalism.
You prefer minimalism?
I prefer minimalism.
I expected that from you. What is your comfort food after a long day of work? Food that de-stresses you?
Nice biryani.
Now you're getting me salivating now. Lunchtime is nearing. Something you always wanted to learn but you haven't.
Something I always wanted to learn and I haven't.
Don't tell us naval aviation. No.
No. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that. Something I always wanted to learn. I don't know. I mean, whatever I wanted to learn, I've been trying to do that.
Wonderful. What is your go-to midnight snack?
Go-to midnight snack. Everyone's favorite, potato chips.
City life or a quiet countryside?
Both. Depends on the mood and the situation. I mean, after you spend some time in the city life, you would want to go have a quiet.
Hand sketch or digital sketch?
Hand sketch any day.
Oh, being a tech savvy person, I didn't expect that reply from you.
No, because that's where you really get to know the scale. The point you get you can get into tech, but
this is what a conversation does. You have a pre-set opinion that this person is tech savvy, so it will be the digital sketch, and you say it's hand sketch. So how contrary to what I thought. It's been a privilege knowing the person behind the managing director of Aedium.
No, it's been an honor.
It's been a privilege
having this conversation with you.
And thank you for giving this opportunity to know about you. We wish Aedium a very successful journey, and we look forward to a wonderful collaboration between Aedium and Viva in the days
Thank
to
you so
come.
much.
Let's create some great buildings together.
Let's do that.
And let's make the skyline of India look better than it is
Let's
today.
do that. Let's make the skyline of, not just the skyline of India, but let's make buildings where people experience matters.
Wonderful. On that note, thank you so much, Deepu ji, and it was wonderful talking to you.
Wonderful.